is part 2 of a question where they felt like their friend had turned them into a gossip, and now they wanted to break off that relationship and really make things right between them and God. But what it has left in the wake is that now all these people that they're apologizing to view them as a gossip, but this person that they collaborated with in the gossip really kind of was this sparkling, shining image. And if that is not difficult for our flesh and spirit, that battle of pride, that why am I taking all this flack? And they don't even have to acknowledge they did anything wrong at all. And I think that if you haven't dealt with this yet in your life, you probably will. And I call them unreconcilable relationships, where you've gone to this person and you've admitted your fault in a situation, because that's what it takes to get right between you and God. And that's really what you're accountable for. But really on the inside, we're just like hoping, please let them acknowledge that they did something too. And sometimes they do. And a lot of times, that type of person doesn't. And it is annoying. It's frustrating. It makes you like stay up at night, and every time you see them say something, you could be like, if only everybody knew who they really were. And they get a new friend, and you just want to be like, don't be friends with them. They're the worst person ever, and this is what they're going to do to you, and this is what you know where relationships with that person will take the person who just blindly walks in thinking that this person's all that in a bag of chips. It is frustrating, but it is also so common. And how do you deal with yourself? And I'm just telling you, it's humility. It's not false humility of, you just have to recognize that I am closer to God than they are, and we can't really expect anything of them. Because the flesh is so wicked and so deceitful. You just truly have to recognize that you have done what you're supposed to do, and that person is a child of God, and God will continue working in them until the day of redemption. And then what we need to do is to pray for them. Not like, and the next time they do it, gotta let somebody find out so that they can get their heart righted. Oh, isn't it just, I don't know about you, but I just think my flesh is so repulsive. And yet it does the same things over and over. I think, all right, I've got victory. I have forgiven that person. I have compassion for them. And then they speak, and I'm just like, nope. I don't have any compassion for them. I can't stand them. They are vile and putrid and pluck. I don't even know if I'm right saying this out loud, but it's true. So then I have to go back to, Lord, they are your child, and I have things in me, just like the flesh that just revealed itself, that is so wicked. And so God, please don't give up on them. Please keep working on their hearts. And you don't want to have malice, because malice is horrible. It's best friends with bitterness. And you consciously have to forgive moment by moment. And I've talked about this in other videos about bitterness and forgiveness, where there's this little button in my head, and it's just a big red button that says stop. And when I start ruminating or recycling those thoughts about that person, I have to press that button and say, I chose to forgive them. I know who they are, and I'm keeping my distance because that's wise. But I chose to forgive them. Therefore, that thought process is not allowed in my brain. And I say, Lord, please take that thought and put it captive, because it is not Christ-like. It is not pleasing to God. And we have to forget those things which are behind and press towards the mark and the high calling of Christ, because it will keep us distracted from what God really wants us to do. So I'm not even doing this. I'm just talking to you like a friend, somebody who's been there. Bitterness is a big deal. So the first thing you need to do is consciously choose to forgive and have that mental stop button. No, that thought process is not allowed in my brain. 2, pray for them sincerely. And not that, that bad things will happen to them so that they'll get right. Pray that God will be merciful and that nothing bad will happen to them because of this situation that happened between you and them. But Lord, that you would have mercy on them, but still work on their heart and convict their heart and help them to see so that they can too be conformed to the image of Christ, so that in eternity they will have fruits and that they won't look back with regret. It's so important that we all can finish our course well. And I really do think that the spirit within us recognizes that, but it's the flesh that wants them to get their just desserts and wants their name to be marred. And we don't have charity that wants to cover a multitude of sins. We want everybody to know who they are because they're evil and wicked, and they hurt us, and they hurt the people we loved, and they betrayed people. But God says that even the unsaved people can love their friends and brothers, but it's God who loves the unlovely, and he wants us to be perfect like him. And a Christian brother or sister is not our enemy. They're not. They feel like it, but they're not. The flesh and the devil and the world are our enemy. So we need to keep that in mind. So choose to forgive them. Choose to hold those thoughts captive. Choose to not let them circulate and ruminate in your mind. Stop and pray for them, that God will continue to work on their heart, and that God will gently and mercifully reveal to them, just as he did with you. Reveal to them. And you might think, yeah, but I already showed them, I already explained to them, they are overtaken in a fault, and they just didn't even acknowledge it. In fact, they came back and they accused me as if I was the only one guilty, and they've done way worse things than I ever did. Yep, there's that. But our job is to pray for them and love them. You don't have to be their best friend. You don't have to be foolish about it. But we are not to allow bitterness to get a hold on us, because our job, our value, our purpose is to please God on this earth, and to know him and to love him and to be conformed to his image, so that other people can know him and love him. So that's the best thing I can do for you as far as that relationship, is to get over our own pride about our own reputation. We'll let people think ill about us because it doesn't matter. God knows the truth, and the wise will understand. I do feel for you. I am sorry that you're hurting, and I am sorry for the whole situation, but it is common to man, and this is just the steps that you have to do. And time will